Golly, that's good.
I cracked myself up. I still haven't found my first Blanton's.
That's different. I really like that. They're like together, like peas and carrots.
That's funny. Sometimes accidents are good things. Peychaud's or Peychaud's or Peychaud. This is not what I expected. Hey, it's Thursday and it's Independence Day. And I'm glad that you're here tonight. So on this day in history, well, not this day in history. Let's start again. Hey, it's Thursday. It's Bourbcast night, and happy Independence Day. In 1774, Parliament passed the coercive acts known as the Intolerable Acts in the colonies. Sounds kind of familiar. This was intended to punish the colonists for the Gaspee Affair of 1772 and the Boston Tea Party of 1773. In November 1774, King George, in a letter to the North, wrote, "Blows must decide whether they are to be subject to this country or independent." The 13 colonies went, hold my ale. Hence the Revolutionary War, and after many, many drafts, our Declaration of Independence was written by John Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, Robert Livingston, and Robert Sherman. It was adopted unanimously on July 4th, 1776, by the 56 delegates to the Second Continental Congress, published in newspapers and read aloud for the very first time to the public July 8th, 1776. And that's why we celebrate not just July 4th, which is a day on the calendar, but Independence Day. We don't celebrate October 31st. We celebrate Halloween. We don't celebrate December 25th. We celebrate Christmas. So we shouldn't celebrate July 4th. We should celebrate Independence Day. All right. Now, so why are we bringing out Whiskey War? Well, it's Independence Day, right? We fought a war for independence, so that's what kind of crossed my mind. Plus, it was on the roster. But that's not what Whiskey War is about. Whiskey War is about something completely different. It's just a nice little segue from Revolutionary War to Whiskey War, and that is this. In 1875, Henry Corbin took a chance and opened a saloon in an area of Ohio not very friendly to saloons or distilled spirits. Not once, but twice, the townspeople blew the saloon up. The first time they threatened to blow it up, it said that he came outside with 2 pistols, and the 2 pistols are still on the label of the bottle even today. So, single act is believed to have ignited the Whiskey War, Prohibition, and launched the Anti-Saloon League. And it's said that Prohibition started mere miles from High Bank Distillery, where it sits today. So, Whiskey War is a blend of 3 whiskeys from 3 different mash bills. These are MGP. 2 of them are from Indiana. 1 is from Tennessee, and it's a high rye. Very, it might as well be a rye, right? So some ryes are 51% rye. That's a low rye, but that's what you would have to be able to legally call yourself a rye. This is 80% rye. So why don't they just call it a rye? Why rye? Why rye? Well, it's called Whiskey War. It's not called a bourbon. It's a whiskey. And they do have the 3 different mash bills, and then the other 20% contains a non-tannic and non-acrid finish. So that means that some of the ryes are going to be aged slower. Some of the ryes are going to be aged faster. The bottle blend is no less than a 5-year aging statement. And then it goes on in a second white oak barrel, ages for a while, brand new char, and then it goes into a third brand new charred white oak barrel, which is why it's called the double double. So that's what we're going to try. Now I'm going to tell you, I cheated. I got invited to the distillery a number of weeks ago, and I did get to try this one, but that bottle had been open for a while, maybe just a couple of hours, but it had been tilted and tilted and tilted and tilted. This is going to be a fresh crack, so let's get into it. I've already poured it. Hey, Tom, how are you? I've already poured it, so let's get into it. That's nice. I'm getting blackberry, black cherry for sure. This has got a lot of notes on it. Vanilla, cinnamon. This morning I drove in the Independence Day parade, and the person that organized our little float thing made a coffee cake for people. Because the donut shop, everything's closed. It's Independence Day, everything's closed. So you couldn't have donuts and coffee, so she made a coffee cake. Really nice of her. And so she brought that out. And so when I smell this, and that was, gosh, 12 hours ago. So the palate is cleansed. I'm okay. I'm okay. So, but that's what this reminds me of, is that really it's not sugary like that coffee cake was, but the cinnamons and the vanillas and all those flavors that came out, it's got a little nuttiness to it, maybe a little pecan to it, or no, walnut, more like walnut. It's got that sweet nut type of scent. I'm looking for honey and I'm not finding that. Okay. No more ado. Let's try this. Ooh. Okay. So I told you about the mash bill. This one is $100 in Ohio. It's $99.99. It is 57.5% alcohol by volume, which is 115 proof. There is a sweetness to this that is not, that the nose did not tell me about. It was keeping secrets. There is a sweetness to this. Goodness gracious. That is brown sugar yum all day. And cinnamon. And a little nutmeg, believe it or not. I'm getting a. They're not going to put that in here. I mean, there is a Christmas bourbon with nutmeg in it. We've tried it. It wasn't terrible, but you drink it for what it is. And I'm catching just a little nutmeg on this. Again, it's the same thing as this. This is a regular whiskey war. It's barrel proof. It goes in the barrel and it comes out of the barrel, and that's it. It's a 5-year. Okay, this is the same thing. It just goes in 2 extra barrels, and there's nothing else added to it. Look at the color difference, right? Pretty astounding, the color difference on that. But the only difference is how long it's aged and how many barrels it's aged. They don't add anything to it, so this nutmeg thing I'm getting is interesting. Pardon me. Okay, I know there are some people who only drink whiskeys like this during the cold months. With a bottle like this, I understand that. This has got again, it's high rye. It's 80% rye. Got a very beautiful, subtle rye accent to it. The things that are coming out, the fruits, those baking spices, just really good, but not punch you in the face, spicy like a lot of those Lawrenceburg ryes. This is a nice subtle rye. It's been sitting in 3 different barrels for over 5 years. It's been given the treatment, and it is subtle and it's delicious and it's savory. This is savory. This is really, really good. The mouth feels great. I don't think it's unfiltered. Let me look and see real quick. I don't think it'll. It says not. It does not say it's unfiltered, but it feels like it might be. It's just got this mouthfeel about it. It's nice and silky. It's got some really nice viscosity to it. Holds onto the side of the glass really, really well. From the tip of the tongue all the way back to the sides, there's just nothing but flavor all over the place. Just bursts with flavor. Really, really good. Paul's talking. I love your Bourbcast on Thursday. Most others post on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Well, we were Wednesday all last month, so it's time to get back to the Thursdays. I looked at the calendar, and we're going to have a couple of interruptions through the summer, but for the most part, we're going to be here on Thursday nights now at 7 o'clock for the remainder. The 18th might be an interruption. It all depends on what that calendar looks like that day, but I think July 18th may be a Thursday that we either do it at a different time or we pick a different day. So, but for July, we're back to Thursdays again. It seems to work out really well for everybody, and it's nice to be able to, count on it, right? So, all right, one more swiggerino here. What other Bourbcasts are you watching, Paul? Pardon me, podcasts that talk about bourbon. We're the original, the one and only Bourbcast. I made that up. If anybody else uses that, you tell me, because I'm going to sue them and make a lot of money. I need money. I need a lot of money. So go ahead, do it. All right. These bottles don't buy themselves, Paul. You know what I'm saying. All right. Okay. Let's do the water trick. Put a little water in here. I'm going to do about a half a milliliter. Maybe that was a little more than a half, but maybe 0.6. Hey, Austin's watching. Happy Independence Day, Austin. I was saying earlier that we did the parade, then I went to an ice cream social, and then I got home, and then there was a bunny in the front yard, and it's been a full day. And I laid down, and I took a nap. And I had pictures of everything except for the nap, and Austin's like, where's the pictures of the nap? It's like, no. By the way, Austin, thank you for taking me to High Bank Distillery or for inviting me to come. We're doing the Whiskey War Double-Double tonight, and it's just as good as it was after it had been open for a while. As a matter of fact, I might even like it better on the neck pour. The amount of flavors coming out of this thing are just, it's an explosion of flavor. I'm not going to tell you it's necessarily complex. Everything that I'm tasting is coming right up front and it's not hiding anything. It's not like one of those that you taste and then, oh, this is doing something this. And then you taste it again. And, oh, it's doing this. No, it's not doing that. My pleasure. I appreciate, and cheers. Cheers to you as well. All right. But so it's just, it's not complex, but it's amazingly flavorful. If that makes any sense. There's just, it starts at the front, goes all the way to the back. There's really a lot of stuff going on here. This is a win for High Bank Distillery. This is a major win. And they have another one that's a double oaked and it has Cabernet. It was the last cask is a Cabernet cask. And it's only in there for a number of weeks. And it's very subtle. The Cabernet taste it's there, but it's very subtle. You got to look for it. But it adds a subtle fruit. Darn it! Adds a subtle fruitiness and a subtle sweetness that is rare, without going too far into that wine, that Cabernet cask. It's just really, 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 really good. Okay, we've added a little bit of water to this. Let's hop to it, shall we? It brought that proof back up a little bit. I had lost that bloom, and now it's appearing again. It's like on the side of my tongue. It's on the front as well, right on the tip. That's nice. It made it just a little earthier. Brought out those cinnamons a lot more. The sweetness is gone. Not gone, but it's not as evident. Some of those fruit notes have backed off a little bit too, so I'm not sure that adding water was the good choice for me. I liked it neat the way it was. We'll keep going. I didn't take a very, very big swig that time, so you know me. I like my swigs. I like my big ones. All right. Yeah, those fruit notes are still there. That blackberry, that black cherry, really nice. I liked it better neat. Just a little bit more flavorful, but not a lot. Not a lot. A lot of times you add water and it opens it up and you get more. This kind of didn't. This kind of went backwards. Although it did bring the heat back up on the tongue. I'm experiencing heat. Whew. All right. This is just a magnificent bottle. And for a high rye, again, not getting those tannic notes, those super spicy notes. And, for being in a barrel 3 different times, I'm not getting a lot of oak. I don't feel like I need to pick my teeth with it because it's not a toothpick. It's not oak. It's not wood. It's just a really, really nicely balanced pour. Nappy poos are great. I can't believe you made me say that, Paul. Paul's a new father, so yes, the naps are going to be a very, very valued moment of time. Because when you have a brand new child, you sleep when the baby sleeps. Austin, you know this. You've got young children. You sleep when the baby sleeps. And when you're a little older, like Paul is, he started his family journey later in life. When naps are maybe a normal thing anyway, now they're really important because you got a little one around. So this was amazing for me. I slept about an hour and a half. I don't do that. I don't nap. Because if I nap, I don't sleep at night. So I just don't. By habit, I don't. But I got home and I was like, I think I'm going to nap. And I did. Indeed. Yeah, Austin, Again, when I had children, when they were young, the mom, she napped. Because why not? You nap when the baby naps. But I was okay. I was good to go. So I very rarely nap. But this one was nice. This was a nice nap. I didn't even roll over. I had my glasses on my chest the whole time. It was nice. It worked out really, really well. All right, keeping it going. Wrong, Casey, wrong. We're going to bring out somewhere. I've got a Declaration of Independence glass. I can't find it. I've looked, I looked for about 5 minutes before I had to get on camera. So I'm going to use my We the People glass. And I'm going to put an ice sphere in it before I pour the bourbon into it. I'm just so eager to drink more. My forearms are still really sore from helping set up that archery course. Get out the brand new, gorgeous ice. Well, this one wants to come out, so we'll take this one out. There we go. Oh, isn't that lovely? Isn't she lovely? Isn't she beautiful? Yeah. Okay. You go back in there. Oh, let's put this one. We'll use this one next week. Stick it back in the freezer. I've got a couple different ice molds. That's just my favorite. It does the best job. It's infallible. I can't mess that up. You can't mess it up. It's perfect. All right, so it's my voodoo chant for a perfectly wonderful pour of my gorgeous ice sphere. So I found out with bingo, because we have talked about, and Paul and I talked about this, doing bingo with this, with prizes possibly available. And I found out, Paul, that you need to have, for a bingo card of 24 spots in a free space, for a good randomization, you need to have 35 clues. 35 things that you check off on your bingo card. We don't have 35 yet. We got a ways to go. So keep them coming. The bingo in the Bourbcast is going to be things that I do often, like say gorgeous ice sphere, or put a pinky up, or there's a bunch. And Paul helped me identify a bunch. when he did the last Bourbcast with me. So there's a bunch, but there's not enough. We need 35. Finger stirrer would be another bingo card. Sherry's watching. Hey, Sherry. How are you? Sherry's been busy doing a lot of NASCAR stuff. She, her company sponsors a vehicle in the NASCAR circuit, and so she's been talking a lot about NASCAR lately, and that vehicle that evidently has been doing pretty well. I don't follow NASCAR. I don't know a whole lot about it. I know they get in a car and they go really, really fast, and it's loud. And sometimes they crash, and everybody goes, "Woo!" That's about the extent. I don't know any of the drivers. I mean, there was a time that I was at a radio station and we ran NASCAR, and I mean those names I knew: Jeff Gordon and Tony somebody. And then there's the one that's infamous, Dick Trickle. You cannot stop talking about Dick Trickle. You would hear that on the air and just. At least I did. But anyway, so the drivers today, Kyle Busch, I know this. I think he's one. Yeah, I don't know. Tony Stewart, that's the one. Thank you, Sherry. That's the one, Tony Stewart. And I don't know if he races anymore, but I know that he's got like a massive house and he's got like everything. So yeah. And he went through some controversy himself a while back, but it hasn't seemed to stop him. He owns teams and he's doing great, and he's a good ambassador for the sport. So, and I said I didn't know anything. Tony Stewart does sprints too. If you're into like dirt track racing, he sponsors sprint teams, and he likes to drive sprint himself sometimes. Okay, that's the extent of my knowledge. That's it. That's as far as it goes. That's as far as it goes. He owns Eldora. He does own Eldora. Okay, I thought he did. I've been to Eldora. I was there with the pork producers. They were doing pork tenderloins on the grill. They were good. I remember more about the pork than the race. And I was filming the race. I filmed the pork too, but okay. Getting back to this. This is Whiskey Ward double with a finger stir on ice. Back to bourbon, yes. Back to bourbon. And Sherry knows bourbon. She and her husband, they collect. They've got a gorgeous bar. They've done the work. I have not. I have what you see. That's it. All right, let's go on ice here. That's beautiful. Back to those wonderful, wonderful baking spices. Cinnamon pops. That vanilla's there. Maybe a little honey, but not a lot. Maybe just a tinge. You got to look for it. I like this. I really, really like this. This is the Whiskey Ward Double oaked at a High Bank Distillery. This is just, if you were looking for something that'll hold up in a cocktail, this will do that. Without being overly oaky and without being overly rye heavy. Even though it's 80% rye, it doesn't present itself as an 80% rye, honestly. This is just a wonderful, wonderful bottle of booze. Very, very tasty. I really like this one. And as much as I didn't like it on water, I like it on ice that much more. Still like it neat best, but on ice, it works out very, very nicely. You know what and I do this a lot, and this is like one of my favorite drinks. But this, in a smoked old fashioned, I'm telling you, it would help bring out a little bit more of the oak that it's not bringing on the palate, just like this. This would be perfect in a smoked old fashioned. I might make a smoked old fashioned tonight just because this is saying, hey, do it. So I may just do it. I will keep trying. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate it. Keep coming up with that list. And when we figure out the Bourbcast bingo, we'll have you on again, and you can help me unveil it. It'll be fun. Okay. One more of these, and then we're going to wrap. Yeah, it's wonderful. All right, we're going to continue the barrel proof things at least one more week. I had something else planned, but this is working out really well, and I like the barrel proof pours. So I don't know what next week is going to be. I've got lots of barrel proof down here. I'm thinking something along the lines of a Maker's Mark. I think I've got their Maker's Mark cask strength, and I think I got to look and see if I've done the Maker's 46 cask strength. I don't know if I've opened that yet. So if I haven't done it, maybe that'll be the one I do next week. Flying by the seat of my pants. So it is what it is. But I want to say thank you for joining me on the 4th of July, Independence Day, 2024. We got 2 more years, and we hit 250. And I don't know if you knew this or not. This is important, and maybe it's not important to you, but it's important to me. I think it's really cool. 1783, I think, is when we had our Constitution ratified. I may have that date wrong, and that's okay. But that Constitution is the longest living Constitution on Earth. The average length of a Constitution in a country is 17 years. If you take the 160 or whatever countries that are on the earth and you look at their constitutions, most of them last no more than 17 years. And ours has lasted since the 1780s. 1786? I don't remember the year that it was ratified. Anyway, doesn't matter. What matters is that ours has reigned true. The experiment of a representative government, of a representative republic, continues to this day. And it all started with our Declaration of Independence, where all men were held and created equal. And no matter what, right? These truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal by their creator. It's a beautiful document. And it's a beautiful day, and I'm glad that you were here to share it with me, so thank you very much. We will see you next Thursday at 7 p.m. with some other barrel strength option. We'll keep this going for another week, maybe 2, if I can see enough back there that are barrel strength options, or maybe I'll just go to the store and get some more. We are still planning to get out and about and go do Bourbcast at bars. We've got a couple people who've invited us. So we're going to take them up on that as we get through the summer. We just got to get to it. And the summer has been extremely busy, and I've been blessed by that. But we got to get out there. We got to get out there and do our thing so people can talk about us. And you can talk about us, too, on Instagram at Beautiful Bourbon, and, of course, on YouTube at Beautiful Bourbon, and here on Facebook as well. So thank you for that. Share this Bourbcast with others that you think might enjoy it, that you think need to know more about the Double Oak gem here from High Bank Distillery, the Whiskey War. It's fantastic. And if you haven't tried it yet, High Bank Distillery is in Columbus. Go get some if you're around the area. If you're not around the area, there are some places. I think Sealbox sells it online. There might be a couple of other ones. You might check that out. But don't go the rest of your life without trying this particular bottle, or for that matter, the regular Whiskey War. This is also barrel strength. Find a label, man. This is also not Costco, also barrel strength, and I think you'll really enjoy it. So, Aaron Blake, we're getting set to get out of here. Thank you for joining us, though. I work for Callie's, and we do lots of drag and breaking into NASCAR now. Okay, good. Sean's watching. Hey, Sean, how are you? I'm glad you're here. We're wrapping up. So happy Independence Day. Hopefully it'll stop raining and you can get out and do a little grilling. I grilled in the rain because I saw a wave of rain coming and thought, whatever sprinkle I get now is going to be better than what's coming. So let's do it now while we can. So 4th of July, Independence Day. Be safe, drink at home, or get a DD. And thank you for watching. We'll see you next week.